Hello everyone, you're welcome to this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. I am Bable Jonathan. Coming up, at least 3 persons have been killed in another accident on the stretch of road linking Sanchu and Chang in the west region of the Republic of Cameroon. Several persons have equally been wounded in that accident, which occurred earlier today, less than 24 hours after another accident killed 5 persons and injured about 25 others on the same stretch of road. And also in this newscast, civil society leaders reiterate the federal solution to the more than 7-year-long armed conflict raging in the northwest and southwest regions of the country and the decade-old Anglophone problem. Speaking to the Inside over Equinoxe television yesterday, they emphasized on the points that the problem cannot be solved by force or by military means. And out of the country, at least 18 persons have been killed in bomb blast in the northeastern Borno state of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, while in Kenya, young people who took to the streets protesting over unpopular tax bills are now demanding the resignation of President William Ruto and good governance. Once more, thank you for joining us in this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television. Begin on the roads. At least 3 persons are reported dead in an accident that occurred earlier today at Sanchu on the road linking the locality of Sanchu and Chang in the west region of the country. The accident involved a public transport bus of Trésor Voyage Interurban Transport Company. Several persons are reported to have been wounded in that accident which occurred earlier today, and this is coming less than 24 or just some few days after another accident occurred on that same stretch of road. That was last Wednesday, leaving at least 5 persons dead and 25 others injured, and that this accident occurred earlier today. We're going to bring to you greater details in our subsequent news editions. And still on the roads, several accidents occurred last weekend in different parts of the country. The town of Limbe, notably at mile 2 in the southwest region of the country, 4 persons died in an accident involving 2 trucks. Now, Sumanjik and Gabriel brings to us greater details on the accidents recorded on roads in the Republic of Cameroon last weekend.
Thanks to a tree planted by the roadside and a car bashed by a truck, inhabitants at the private residence in Quarter 1, Mbanga subdivision, will be saved from an accident that could have taken away the lives of many who were still asleep. We just heard something hard outside, only for us to wake up and discover that the tree in front of us has been rooted out by a truck, brought down our electricity meter, destroyed the car of a neighbor. Fortunately, nobody died. Witness account says the truck driver was sleeping on his steering when the incident occurred. As a result, the car 8 is reported to have been severely injured, but no loss in life. Still at Quarter 1, at the Lekam entrance in Banga, it was a mentally sick woman who was knocked to death by a car. Unfortunately, the driver ran off as inhabitants of Mbanga dropped the corpse of this woman at the morgue. It was also a bad weekend for the Diocese of Eboloa, whose chief shepherd, Bishop Philippe Alembaga, narrowly missed death after his car witnessed a brakes failure at Ngalang. Bishop Philippe Alembaga, alongside Sister Monique Sophie Beyala, are presently hospitalized at the district hospital in Ngalang.
Roman Catholic priest of the St. Fidelis Parish in Bafoussam West region of the Republic of Cameroon decries the unprofessional conduct of some road safety agents, which according to him accounts for the recurrent road accidents on highways across the country. Reverend Father Kahake Philip accuses some road safety agents of extortion from road users, that they are carrying out extortion instead of working to limit road accidents on highways across the country. Innocent as he has more.
While addressing Christians of the St. Fidelis parish, Bafusam, who were mourning a young man, Tene Pierre David, who died in a road accident, Reverend Father Kahake Philip decried carelessness of drivers on the highway as well as reckless driving, which cost the lives of Cameroonians on a daily basis. If everyone respects highway codes, families will not be mourning all the time. Unfortunately, it is a country where people do what they like, anyhow and anytime. The priest also denounces the unprofessional practices of some road safety agents on Cameroon's national roads. I denounce them right here. Instead of working to prevent accidents, they intervene in accidents. It is all about road safety and not about repression and extortion from road users. You find them everywhere with barricades, compelling drivers to pay illegal taxes, which are at times exorbitant.
Appelez-les répression routière et non pas prévention routière. Vous passez partout, chacun met le bambou. C'est quoi, dans la taxe?
Reverend Father Kahake Philip ordered youth to adopt good morals and be responsible while on the highway.
Et vous les jeunes?
Youth, I am sure you are listening. You drive recklessly and on high speed. That is not life. If your parents were driving like you today, you wouldn't have been born or alive today. Youth, slow down. You only rush into the grave.
Vous ne serez pas né, vous ne serez pas vivant, parce qu'il n'y aurait personne pour vous élever.
With all the recurrent bloody accidents, corruption practices, homosexuality, lesbianism, and other deviant practices reigning in the Republic of Cameroon, the priest thinks only the youth can change the game.
Les jeunes, c'est vous qu'on attend pour changer ce pays.
Youth, you are the ones awaited to change this country.
Blood spilled on the roads. Blood spilling in the northwest and southwest regions of the country, the two predominantly English-speaking regions of the Republic of Cameroon, plagued by socio-political and security tensions for close to 8 years today. And in the last incident in Bambui, notably at Four Corners, it is in Bambui, in the Tuba subdivision, Mezam division of the northwest region, a young man was killed in a crossfire between separatist fighters and the military. We are told that he went to open his shop but was caught up in a gun battle between the separatist fighters and the military, and a bullet from a separatist gun, allegedly from a separatist gun, is said to have killed the young man. Now, civil society leaders reiterate the federal solution, notably effective transfer of power to those two regions, considering their specificities, as the only way out of the situation, out of the more than 7-year-long armed conflict and the decade-old Anglophone problem in those parts of the country. And speaking to the Insight, they indicated and emphasized on the points that there is no military solution. The problem cannot be solved by force. Take a listen to Cameroon-based or Cameroon-born, London-based lawyer Alex Ndive Lisinge and Pascal Tagia Fomekong, civil society leader and human rights defender.
To solve the Anglophone problem is about transferring of power. Two countries came together, two different institutions, French institution in the French part of Cameroon, English institution in the English part of Cameroon. That is how you can solve that problem.
That the government of Cameroon doesn't understand that bringing federalism is not like to divide people or to have less power. No, it's a way out. And I forgot to talk about
our next door neighbor, Nigeria, is a federal
country. So this is, when you ask solutions, I forgot to say this is a way out.
and about the many socio-economic problems plaguing the country, with inflation at the top and difficult and even precarious living conditions of a good chunk of a good number of Cameroonians living below the poverty line. Metro Alex Ndive Lisenge, Cameroon-born, London-based lawyer, human rights defender, and civil society leader, is astonished by the silence of Cameroonians and drawing inspiration from what is happening in Kenya, where young people took to the streets, not mobilized by any political party or civil society leader, but simply by an expression of anger on TikTok, and pressed and compelled the government of President William Ruto to back down on some unpopular tax bills in the country. He says that Cameroonians have to sit up, not by violence, but by peaceful protest, which is their right, enshrined in national and international legal instruments duly signed and ratified by Cameroon. Take a listen.
I look at Cameroon now, whether it's Stockholm Syndrome, we have been in that situation. Mr. Biya have been there for almost 42 years. Then people look at it, oh, people have tried, nothing changed. So we have reached that point that we are losing our senses, and we say, oh, nothing can ever change. And we are waiting for divine intervention. As I make it on your program, to protest doesn't mean violence. It is your constitutional right, Article 65. People should go and read it. Cameroonians, if they are not happy, the sovereign people, they should go and protest. It is non-violent. I'm not saying be violent. That's not it. Protest is your right. The earlier our people, they know that they have the right to say when the government is doing something, we don't want it anymore. We are on social media. I'll give you one point. The mistake I see most Cameroonians on social media, they spend their time attacking each other rather than looking for what is important. Example, IT card is there, we don't want it. No electricity. If we join together, we protest on those things that will help our people. That's
and one of the political parties in the country that has been on the ground fighting for change and urging Cameroonians to register and vote, believing that change will come through the ballot box, is the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party. And less than 2 months to the end of the ongoing voter registration exercise, the party is still on the ground canvassing for voter registration or for more potential voters to be registered on the electoral list. And voter registration is the general or the central message of the party of Professor Maurice Kamto during the General Assembly of the Littoral One region yesterday here in Douala. Militants were encouraged not to give up but to remain firm despite what they qualify as attacks from the administration and the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement (CPDM) political party. Latest statistics of the elections organizing body Elections Cameroon put the total number of registered voters at 7,823,434. CRM Littoral One Regional Secretary Christian Masuma cast doubts on the figures published by the elections organizing body Elections Cameroon, and the party has launched an operation aimed at increasing the number of registered voters to at least 8 million before the end of the ongoing registration process by the 31st of August 2024. Now take a listen to the Secretary General of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party, Chief Barrister Don Christopher.
We are asking all Cameroonians of voting age from 20 upward who have not registered on the electoral list to go and register on all election branches in Cameroon and abroad, because 2025 is an election year. It is pregnant. The air is tensed. And so, therefore, we count on Cameroonians to put their vote behind the CRM party, who has a very sound program, which have, in fact, brought over the minds of Cameroonians. We shall win the presidential election and local elections. We shall be present in 360 council areas and in 180 parliamentary seats. So, our adversary, which is the CPDM, we are waiting on them. Let us meet on the field. Let them not use the police, the gendarme, in order to try to break our hands, frighten people. That is not democracy.
Now we bring to you the story of a 23-year-old young man in Jombe in the littoral region of Cameroon who overcame drug addiction. Julio, as he is called, says his decision and determination to abandon drug consumption stems from the effects of drug abuse and several complaints from his family. ACA Lucy Liengo reports.
Recent statistics from the National Committee for the Fight Against Drug Consumption in Cameroon reveal 20% of the adolescent population continue to consume marijuana and tramadol. As the years go by, young people in particular become addicted to drugs. This is the case of 23-year-old Julio, who today has decided to stop the habit of consuming hard drugs. Julio says pressure and the environment in which he found himself in pushed him to become a drug addict. As a victim of circumstance, Julio adds he ignorantly joined his friends due to the effects of the drugs he consumed. His decision to quit brings joy to his mother and siblings who have been expressing worries regarding his change of character. His mother explains it was difficult to live with him because of his aggressive nature. She encourages him to be the exemplary child. I want the best from you so that people will be shocked. After abandoning the dangerous drugs, Julio decided to engage in agriculture and pig farming to avoid being idle and to earn a living. Julio calls for his friends still consuming narcotics to discontinue. Nonetheless, it is imperative to apply effective measures to curb the consumption of hard drugs among youth in the country as the figures continue to rise.
Out of Cameroon, at least 18 people have been killed in blasts said to have been carried out by female suicide bombers in the northeastern Borno state of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, while in Kenya, protesting youths are now demanding for the resignation of President William Ruto, and they are also demanding for good governance. Sedwi Chakucho has more.
Suicide bombers in Gwaza, northeastern Nigeria, killed at least 18 people on Saturday. Barkindo Saidu, Director General of Borno State Emergency Management Agency, says the first suicide bomber detonated an explosive device during a marriage celebration at about 3 p.m. The death comprised adult males, females and children. No one has so far claimed responsibility for the attacks, but Gwaza in Borno State have been heavily impacted by an insurgency launched in 2009 by Boko Haram, an Islamic extremist group. From its origin in the state, it has threatened the security of Nigeria and destabilized the Lake Chad region. Elsewhere, after days of bloody protests against proposed tax hikes and the removal of the bill, Kenyans were still shaken to the core. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights reported cases of addiction. The body says many more were wounded and 26 people were killed during the June 25 protests alone. A number of businesses are also counting losses following looting and burning down of buildings. In a bid to find a lasting solution, William Ruto has been meeting different groups at the State House in an effort of finding a lasting solution following the protests. The president has directed the setting up of a committee to address the concerns of youth who are dissatisfied with the state of the country's affairs. And in South Africa, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa named a new cabinet on Sunday evening after his African National Congress, the former main opposition party, and 9 other parties agreed on the makeup of a coalition government of South Africa's 7th administration following weeks of haggling.
People of South Africa voted in a watershed election. In casting their votes, our people made it clear that they expect political parties to work together to deliver on a mandate of transformation, growth and renewal. And to give effect to this mandate, it was agreed that a government of national unity, which brings together parties from across the political spectrum, should be formed.
Ramaphosa's announcement of his new unprecedented multi-party cabinet came a month after the ANC lost its 30-year political dominance of Africa's most industrialized country in a national election, forcing it to seek coalition partners. Ramaphosa's party retained the largest share of ministerial positions as he appointed ANC officials to 20 of the 32 cabinet minister roles in the new coalition.
The lawyer of the president of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, Samuel Eto'o, has said his client is innocent of all the charges leveled against him, including match-fixing. Barrister Florian Mbayen was speaking on Radio France International. RFI Malaglory has more.
Barrister Florent Bayen is the lawyer that defended Samuel Eto'o, president of the Cameroon Football Federation, at the CAF Disciplinary Council in Cairo on June 25th and 26th. This was in relation to the accusation placed on Eto'o for match fixing. In an interview on RFI, a foreign media, the lawyer says, for such accusation to be placed on Eto'o, it means his accusers know very little about the person who has an exemplary career as a footballer and who has never been implicated in a dirty game throughout his professional career. Barrister Florent Bayen revealed that there was indeed a telephone conversation between his client Samuel Eto'o and the president of Victoria United Football Club of Limbe, but denies any arrangement to leave Victoria United in the first division as alleged in the complaint filed against him. He says that the president of Victoria United threatened to quit the championship organized then because to him he felt his team was being cheated. It is for this reason that Eto'o called him on phone. The calls recorded presented during the hearing in Cairo was difficult to identify the content, reason why it was rejected. Another allegation which was placed on Samuel Eto'o was a sponsorship contract with a sports betting company. Barrister Florent Bayen explained that it is a pre-contract which simply binds the federation to the said company. He goes further to explain that Mr. Eto'o has never signed a contract of that nature. Barrister Bayen, who attended a 2-day hearing in Cairo, says it is an affair masterminded by unscrupulous people. Barrister Florent Bayen ended his interview by reiterating that his client Samuel Eto'o has no political interest.
And that's it for the first part of this newscast. Talking Point is up next. Our guest today is Silvanus Muta, who is the special advisor of the national president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party, Professor Maurice Kamto. Silvanus Muta, thank you for joining us today. First question, the Cameroon Renaissance Movement is developing strategies, undertaking actions on the ground in preparation for next year's elections, and more particularly the presidential election, with the determination to seize power. Your leader, the president of the party, Professor Maurice Kamto, recently said that he's ready for all to grab power, to seize power from the Biya regime. And it is within this framework that militants of your party in the Littoral 1 region met here in Douala since yesterday. What are the major issues that were being discussed during that meeting?
Thank you so much, Mr. Bola Jonathan, for this opportunity given me to talk on the General Assembly of the Regional Federation of the CRM Littoral 1 that just ended yesterday, the 30th of June 2024. Normally, it's a fellowship between or among militants of the region. They usually have to come at a table of discussion to evaluate some of the problems that have been rogging the party, and also to look at the achievements and evaluate the activities of the party. So yesterday, the party had to highlight on the different units that have been created so far since Christian Masuma took over as the regional secretary of the party, and also to look at the achievements of the party, especially with regards to the organization of the party itself, restructuring of the party. That's at the level of the units, at the level of the commune, at the level of the division. So a lot has been done to ensure that peace and harmony reigns amongst the militant. So looking at the activities of the party, we can see at this particular juncture that the base is highly involved in the affairs of the party. They now understand through the help of the regional secretary that they ought to be involved in mobilizing Cameroonians to get registered on the electoral list. They ought to be involved in ensuring that there's peace and harmony in the nation by avoiding hate speeches and other like. Those are the things that have been done so far in the party, and it needed to go through a lot of sensitization with Christian Masuma being at the helm of the party in the Regional Federation of Littoral 1.
One of the major strategies of your party as of now at this moment is the struggle to get Cameroonians out of voter apathy, to get them to register their names in the electoral register and of course vote when the time comes. Tell us a little more about how you've been going about this struggle to get Cameroonians out of voter apathy. Are you obtaining some results?
Honestly speaking, we at one moment felt aghast, frustrated, in fact, really overwhelmed when we heard the Minister of Territorial Administration came out and publicly said the CRM was harassing Cameroonians to get registered on the electoral list, whereas we saw exactly how the process had been going on since 2022. Electoral had been very lukewarm. 2023, they started the process lately in other parts of the world. So in Cameroon, the CRM has been working hand in glove with the electoral body, that's ELECAM, to ensure that Cameroonians get registered. When we started the process, it went on right even up to Sundays. And ELECAM saw that Cameroonians were more interested to register on Sunday. The CRM was at the central stage, moving all over the nooks and crannies of the Littoral 1 to canvass Cameroonians to get registered. So at one point we felt that the CPDM was afraid, thinking that the CRM was doing so maybe to outmatch them in the region, and they had to connive with ELECAM to ensure that registration didn't go on again on Sunday. So most religious authorities and even the civil society, they really condemned it, because we thought that ELECAM would use Sunday days and even weekends to cover up for the lost time which they had not registered Cameroonians. And knowing that ELECAM officials run the activities even on weekends, they use the body's cars, they use even other infrastructures of the body to carry out their meetings on Sundays. We ask ourselves, why would they be, the Director General of ELECAM be using the car that is offered to him by the government on Saturday and Sunday, and they are being paid even including Sunday? And if their agents will want to go into the field and register, because most often there is motivation, the political parties, especially the CRM, sometimes even offer them a ride. They take them to areas where we think that they need to be motivated to go into the field to register, not giving them money, but carrying them in our cars, moving with them to where we think that it is practically difficult for Cameroonians to go to the antenna of ELECAM to register. So the process has been going on hitch-free, with the CRM contributing in terms of resources, in terms of intelligence, in terms of mobilization. We have been mobilizing. So we think that it's left just about 60 more days to go. We are not relenting. That's why our agents are in the field. The CRM has taken the campaign for registration on an electoral list as one of its major projects at the moment. We, at this particular juncture, don't think that those who are going to register must necessarily be for the CRM political party, but we think that it's the first step to go on if we think that change has to be effective in Cameroon in 2025. First of all, get your electoral card, and then wait for campaign in 2025 to choose the candidate you have to vote for.
All right, thank you very much, Silvanus Muta, special advisor to the national president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, Professor Maurice Kamto. Thank you so much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Coming up right after this newscast is Equinoxe with Samuel Eto'o and his guest. Do stay with us if you can.